Greetings, Hunters, and welcome back to Shattered Ice Plays The Hunters AD 1492. And last time we learned of a caravan transporting monsters that seems to be linked to this cult of the beast. So we are going to be making our way across the country to locate that caravan and ambush it. But we might have a stop along the way.
So we're going to head through Abbey to here and do this quest instead. See if we have a road event, and we don't. So let's see what S92 is. The monastery welcomes you with closed gates and ominous silence. Crows are cawing nearby, and a light breeze is carrying strands of the mist rolling slowly over the damp earth. You walk up to the main gate and let everyone know about your presence with an iron knocker. The sound echoes in the monastery yard. You wait. 47.01. A few minutes later, a small peephole opens in the gate. A pair of squinting eyes look at you through it. If you want food, we hand out meals for the poor in the evening, and we don't offer any beds to stay overnight. We're not here to beg, but about the missing orphans. The eyes look you up as if assessing your clothes and weapons. I'll call Sister Bernadette. The peephole slams shut. A few minutes later, the gates open a little, with an irritating creak, and you enter the monastery yard. Sister Bernadette, a stern woman, is waiting right behind the threshold. She measures you with her intimidating gaze. Warriors, medics, explorers, charlatans, etc. Just the kind of people we're looking for, because this whole thing is dangerous, but I must point out that we don't approve of your sinful way of life, or at least we consider it so. Remember this and behave decently while dealing with our sisters. Please come inside. You follow Bernadette into a low, sprawling building by the main part of the monastery. The door to the main monastery will stay closed, that's obvious. You're only permitted to move around the yard, orphanage and outhouses. I hope that you will find our missing children in no time. May Soa guide your steps. Do you have any questions? Place F11 face up. Okay, so we get card F11. You can do the following. Ask Bernadette when the children went missing. Ask Bernadette if there were more disappearances. Ask Bernadette if they suspect anyone. Inspect the orphanage. Talk with Helmut, the last person to see the missing children. Okay, Alright, the first thing I want to do is inspect the orphanage. So 47.05. You enter a low, long building made of stone where the sisters' wards usually stay. Now, the whole group, comprised of about 40 children, is sitting in a separate hall at the end of the building, learning to read. The main hall you're currently in serves as the dormitory. The refectory for the orphans is located in a neighbouring building. You thoroughly search everything, looking under straw mattresses and through the windows. Unfortunately, you don't find anything unusual or worthy of your attention. Okay, so we didn't really get anything from that. Let's try asking Bernadette if there were more disappearances. So 47.03. Sometimes one falls into some pit or a wolf comes and devours them. We never worried about it too much because it happened very rarely. No one knows what fate Soa has in store for us. But it's the third disappearance in 1 month. Hence, we decided to seek help. A dark force must be involved in all this. Okay, then we'll do A. We'll ask Bernadette when the children went missing. 47.02. We stopped looking for the last one around 5 days ago, so the children went missing 6 days ago. No, they only looked for them for a day. Well, they didn't really look very hard, did they? Okay. Let's try C then. Ask Bernadette if they suspect anyone. 47.04. Evil powers are responsible for all of this. Find and destroy them. That's all we ask. Okay. Very simple view of things. Right, so not a lot of information from all those. So hopefully we can get something from E. Talk with Helmut, the last person to see the missing children. 47.06. You check the stable where Helmut, the old stable hand employed by the monastery, works. Supposedly, he's the last person to have seen the missing children. Helmut turns out to be a heavy-set, maybe 20-year-old man with a red round face and small eyes like a piglet. Helmut, Sister Bernadette let us come here to find the missing children. We've heard you might know something about them. What, me? Nothing like it. Good sirs, I just took 'em blankets from dormitory at dusk, and after that no one saw 'em anymore. But that's all I know, good sirs. Have mercy, I want no trouble. I'll just tell you that I see something strange when I clean them halls. I always clean them floors before the night, and come morning I often find dirty footsteps, tiny ones, childlike, as if them small ones walked around the yard, or maybe even into the forest. So we have a choice. A, if you want to see the orphanage next day at dawn, plus 1 day. Okay, we've asked all the questions we can, and so our only option is to wait till the next morning then, and go to 47.07. So that unfortunately does cost us another day. You sneak into the dormitory in the morning, trying not to wake up the sleeping children to ensure no one wipes away the footprints. You carefully check the floor, and indeed find the traces of dirty feet described by Helmut. Mud and trampled grass lead to a small side exit. The trails end near to a group of 3 orphans lying in the corner by the entrance. You wait for a while until they wake up. Once the children start their daily chores, you approach the trio. Hey there, Sister Bernadette sent us. Okay, so we have a choice. A, where do you wander at night? Don't you think it's bad to sneak out? The sisters are worried. We'll have to let them know about you. B, if you show us where you went last night, you'll get a silver coin. Requires 2 ducats. I really hate to part with my money, but yeah, okay, we'll pay them 2 ducats. So, pay our 2 ducats. And we go to 47.09. The orphan's eyes widen in awe when they see silver glinting in your hands. We'll tell you everything. Why would we hide anything from such kind sirs? We aren't doing anything wrong. We just visit our friend. If you don't tell anyone, we'll take you to him. We can take you right now, but you'll need to excuse us, because we're not supposed to leave the dormitory alone. Our friend sometimes wants one of us to stay with him, and then this person doesn't return, but goes to the House of Happiness. Discard 2 ducats, and then 47.12. Yes, the House of Happiness. That definitely sounds like it'll be a good place to go. So, 47.12. You follow the orphans after a brief conversation with Bernadette. You walk into the forest along a narrow path, worn by wild animals. After some time, sparse trees become more numerous, and the forest grows denser. Suddenly, you have to climb down into a narrow ravine, overgrown with brambles. It ends at a cave with a thick tree root dangling from its ceiling. It's here! Here we visit our friend. Don't be afraid, he isn't dangerous, but just in case it is scary, take these. She hands you a bunch of juniper twigs. He doesn't like them. When you touch him with these, he immediately jumps away and hisses. Take them, please. You draw your weapons, accept the twigs, and delve into the tunnel. 50 or 60 paces in, the cave broadens and starts to reek of stale, rotten meat.
What are you looking for here, strangers?
A booming voice comes from the opposite wall, where the darkness is nearly impenetrable, and the light of your torch barely touches the walls of blackness. You spot something in the darkness, something akin to limbs or snake-like tentacles constantly writhing in the shadows. Give us kidnapped children back. We're not afraid of your tricks.
Children? They are in a different, better world now. I cannot return them to you, but I sense that there are more of them around. It's not over. Far from it. Every single orphan will be taken in by me sooner or later.
Okay, so we have a choice. Then die. Resolve quest 38A. Or B. What would you want in exchange for leaving the rest of the orphans alone and going away? Right, well, we don't know this thing's a child murderer, but I'm going to assume it is. Either way, I'm not giving it anything. I've already had to pay 2 ducats just to find the damn thing. So we're going to go A. Then die. And resolve quest 38A. As you slowly retreat backwards, you feel a dry rustling beneath your boots. The cave is scattered with a thick blanket of juniper leaves. Did the children do this? Quest goals. Your quest goal is to defeat the enemy by the end of round 8. Special rules. The creature you face is no mere Megaloptera, but a mutated demonic variant. Most of its characteristics are unchanged, except for its defense, 6 melee, 6 ranged, and 8 magic. This quest is played in the night. When the monster enters space 1, 2, or 3, read 46.03. The monster fears the juniper twigs the heroes have gathered. In order to lash the monster with a juniper twig, you may use the interact action while engaged with it. After performing this action, the creature suffers 1 wound and its armour is damaged, similar to mighty attacks. Okay, so here is our setup for quest 38. So we have 3 finding tokens, and here's our old pal, the Megaloptera. So fortunately, its attack characteristics aren't improved. Its defense is really high, but we should be able to chip away at that slowly. And it begins with 8 damage on it, so we only have to do 7 points of damage to it to actually kill it. So hopefully this won't be too difficult. Right, so we've picked our 5 starting cards. So all we need to do is shuffle our decks. Okay, and we're ready to begin. So the Megaloptera is going to go first with its perception of 1. So we'll draw a card for it. And at range 1+, he's going to do an attack 2 against all opponents within range 1. So it rolls 2 dice, and it has an agility of 2. Okay, so it gets a 1 and a 6. So it rolls another one, a 2. Okay, and it's done 2 points of damage, plus 2 for its agility, so that's a total of 4. So against Friedrich, he has a defense of 3 against range, so he takes 1 damage, dropping him to 6 health. Now, for Wilhelm, it would be the same 4 points of damage. However, I believe I've figured out how wooden shields work in this context, because I was confused about it in an earlier quest. So when we're working out the damage against Wilhelm, all we're going to do is say it's 2 plus 1 and plus another die roll of 2. So it's the same, it's 4. And since Wilhelm has a defense of 5 against ranged attacks, it does nothing to him either. Now, right after the Megaloptera performs its attack, we are going to use this reaction to do an attack 2 free action with his blunderbuss, because thankfully it hasn't moved into his space. So, he gets to roll 4 dice and adds 3 to the result because of his agility. And it's plus 1 accuracy for the blunderbuss, so it's going to be hitting on 3s. So we get 2 2s, and we add the 3, so that's 5, and it's pierce 1. But unfortunately his armour is 6, so that does nothing. Right, now it's Friedrich's turn. So, the first thing he's going to do is use versatility, and he's going to heal Wilhelm for 3, putting him up to 8 health. And then he's going to move or parting leap 2, and then he's going to interact. So the best thing for him to do is go 1, 2 to here, and then interact to collect this finding token. And then with his second action, he's going to do a jump, so he gets to move or parting leap 2 again. So he's going to go back to there, and now it's Wilhelm's turn. Okay, so Wilhelm's actually going to have to move. So Wilhelm is going to use Protecting the Group to move or parting leap 1 and then do an attack 2. So he's going to move into the space with the Megaloptera. And I don't think we can hurt it at this point, but we'll have a go. Okay, so he rolls a 5, a 3 and a 6, so there's no way that's going to hurt the Megaloptera with its armour being so high. So our next best option here is to discard this Protecting the Group to use it as an interact, to use those juniper twigs So that automatically does 1 damage to it, and it lowers its defences. So that's the end of the first round, and we need to collect 2 cards for Wilhelm. And 2 for Friedrich. Okay, and then it's the Megaloptera's turn. Okay, so the Megaloptera will do a parting leap of 1, and then it'll attack 2 at range 1. So which way would it go? I'm going to say it goes this way. Now, as it does that parting leap, Wilhelm can make a penalty strike against it. So we just get to make an attack, and we need 3s to hit. And we get a 1, a 2, and a 4. So we add another die. 5. Okay, so it's 2 plus 2 strength. So that's 4, and it's pierce 1. But it has 5 armour. So we're not going to be able to do any damage to it with that. And then it makes its attack. So it's going to attack Friedrich, because Friedrich has a lower defense value. So it gets 5 and a 1. So it needed 2s to hit. So it gets 1, 2, 3. But Friedrich has 3 points of armour against ranged. And it's not pierce or anything like that. So because Friedrich blocked all of that damage, he is not immobilised, which is good for us. So we'll do Friedrich's turn, and he's going to move 1 to here. And then we're going to discard this left swing to do an interact and pick up this finding token. And now we're on to Wilhelm's turn. Right, so we're going to use Draw Attention to move 1 into the Megaloptera space. And then we're going to discard Flurry of Blows as an interact to put another armour damage token on him. So his defense is now 4. And that's the end of another round. So we need 2 cards for Wilhelm. And 2 for Friedrich. And we go on to round 3. Okay, so it's the Megaloptera's turn. And it's going to do an attack 2 and a parting leap of 1. So it only rolls 1 die. So it probably can't even hurt Wilhelm. Even with its 2 strength, which we'd still have our shield against that. But it fails to harm him. Oh, then it does a parting leap. Well, I don't think it would corner itself. So I'm going to say it jumps back to here. Because now it's going to have range on both of them. So first we're going to use Wilhelm. And he's going to use Assault to do a move or parting leap of 1. And he's going to move diagonally to this space. Then he's going to discard Quick Blows for an interaction. And collect this token. Oh, in fact, when we use those juniper berries a second time, it does 1 damage as well, doesn't it? So this should actually be on 10 damage. So it's got 10 damage and 4 armour. So Friedrich is going to use his stimulants to give himself +1 accuracy. Then he's going to use Answer the Call to do an attack 2. So with his stimulants plus the blunderbuss, that's going to be an attack 4. So he rolls 4 dice and he needs 4s to hit. So we get 1, 2, 3 and a 6. So we get to add another 1, which is also a 1. So we add another 1, which is a 6. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7 altogether. And its armour value is 4. But it's pierce 1, so its armour value is 3. So he does 4 damage. And then that is the end of that round. So we need 2 cards for Wilhelm. And then it's the Megaloptera's turn. So the Megaloptera is at range 1, so it's going to do an attack 3 at range 1. So it's going to target Friedrich, because he's got the lower armour value. So it's hitting on 3s. And it gets 2 misses. So Friedrich's armour just once again blocks it. Wow, he just can't hurt us at all. Okay, so Friedrich is going to go next, and he's quite simply going to use Disabling Infusion, but he's going to replace it with an Interact action. And he's going to use this Rubble reaction to heal himself for 1 before he does any activity. So he heals himself up to full health, and then he uses that move to move into there. And then he's simply just going to discard Anatomy for an Interact action using the Juniper Twigs, which will lower its armour, but more importantly, do 1 damage to it, so it kills it. And that is the end of that Megaloptera. So, victory. Silence coats the walls of the cave. The quiet is broken only by the intermittent drops of water from the rocky ceiling, and your shallow, ragged breaths. It seems you've solved the Abbey's problem. Sister Bernadette is sincerely thankful. She hands you the promised reward and invites you for a meal in the hall. The children, however, hardly seem grateful. They sulk gloomily, upset and scowling at you. You can't always please everyone. Each hero gains 4 experience. Oh, nice. So that puts up to 17. And it puts Friedrich up to 15. 1 morale, which is also good. So we are each now on 1 morale total. We each gain a silver, 2 yarn, and 2 plants. So we get a total of 4 plants, 4 yarn, and 2 silver. We also gain monster blood and monster bones. And then we roll a d6 for each collected finding. So we have 3 finding tokens. And we get a 1, 2, and a 3. So we get 1 monster egg, 1 saltpeter, and 2 flowers. So we get 2 flowers, a monster egg, and a saltpeter. So we got a lot of resources for that. And then it tells us place S61 face up on location 2. Okay, so we'll do that. I wonder what would have happened if it had got to any of these 3 spaces. It did say to read an entry if it got to space 1, 2, or 3. And we've not seen that in any of the quests before, so that'd be interesting. But it didn't even get there. It got killed. Okay, so here we are back on the world map, and now we are just going to head to here. And we see if we get a travel event. And we don't. So we read S44. You hide among the greenery close to the trail. Swarms of mosquitoes keep biting your faces. Each minute lasts an hour, but you trust the information you got from the council. The people you're looking for should be here soon. Okay, resolve quest 23. And I think that is where we are going to leave this one. So, as always, thank you very much for joining. I hope you've been enjoying this series. And as always, please do like, share, subscribe, comment, all the usual YouTube stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.